Hello, my name is Craig Simon and I'm a Senior Security Engineer with McAfee. I'm going to talk to you today about integrating EPO and Nitro, the McAfee ESM, together to allow automatic remediation. What does automatic remediation actually mean? Well, basically, as a automated event, as a response to an alarm, to a correlated event, or something else I might want to trigger off of, I can have the EPO server automatically go off and place tags which will modify the behavior of particular hosts based on what those hosts are exhibiting. I can very easily integrate all sorts of different McAfee products in this automatic remediation pattern. I can use VirusScan Enterprise, the host intrusion prevention, MRA, and any other product that integrates with EPO. And I can also integrate other third-party products that have built-in an EPO hook that I can effect with a client task or with a policy change. So to enable the integration, it's actually rather simple. All that needs to happen first is that staff and the client need to go ahead and build one or more tags that they would like to use. And these tags could be a couple, it could be a few dozen, whatever, no limit. And each one will be created and then will be set up with certain types of results that are going to happen when these tags are applied onto hosts. For instance, when a tag is applied, we could cause a virus scan event to happen. We could modify, for instance, the firewall rules to go ahead and block attacks from a machine that might be showing an indication of an active malware. It makes the identification of infected hosts that much quicker because nobody has to go ahead and be staring at any consoles. Simply as a triggered to an automated event or several events, I can then go ahead and automatically place this action out there, which will go ahead and cause the tags to be applied, and then whatever the results of those on that host without anybody having to automatically do it. It really helps to go ahead and keep all this malware that people are dealing with isolated because they can respond to it much faster. And it really allows people that no longer have to go ahead and wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go ahead and deal with the latest infected machine, for instance. They'll know that once they get the alarm, the tag's been applied, that machine's been isolated, for basically insulating the rest of their network from it, and then they can get up at a normal time and then go in there and deal with the machine on their own schedule. So some basic requirements to build this integration. Obviously, just a couple of pieces. We need to have EPO and the agent have to be installed. We need to have the McAfee SIEM deployed as well. And there need to be some endpoint products or some other software pieces that we're going to modify based on these actions. We need to basically, as I said, the tags need to be created. The actions need to be set up as a result of the tags. Generally, people would affect policy changes and or client tasks could be launched as a result. In this case, what I use is I'll show you what I've got is I've got a lockdown and scan task that's been set up within EPO. When my lockdown and scan task is applied, it will modify the Windows firewall to isolate that machine. It will allow most outgoing connections to be blocked in this instance. However, it will allow chosen incoming connections to that machine. Incoming connections from EPO, incoming connections from network segments where IT management would generally be located. So they will be able to then remediate, connect to this machine still, and remediate it remotely. And then once that process has been happened, by simply removing that tag, that will then go ahead and reset that machine to its standard state of operation and will no longer have it isolated. We're going to build all that together with an alarm inside of the McAfee SIEM. We're going to hook the alarm and the tags together, and then once that's done, all of our actions will be performed automatically. So that's what I'm going to show you then. I'm going to show you what the tags look like in EPO. I'm going to show you how to configure the alarm within Nitro, the McAfee SIEM, and I'm going to show you how to hook everything together as well. So here we are inside of my EPO console. And in order to show you what I've got set up, I'm simply going to come over here to the tag catalog. Here is my lockdown and scan tag. It's currently applied to no systems because no systems are exhibiting behavior that would require that to be applied. Now, the basic thing that I've done is I've set up basically a policy and that policy is applied to the HIPS firewall, which is my lockdown task right over here. And then number 2 is I have a client task. And the client task is how I kick off my automated scan once my lockdown task has happened. And that's right over here on my on-demand scans, and it's called scan after lockdown. So those are the 2 things that happen whenever I apply my tag via EPO. So let me go ahead and show you exactly how to set this up on the McAfee SIEM, on the side of NitroView. So here we've got a SIEM console, and I'm going to just show you an example very quickly. Now, for instance, I might want to go and I might want to trigger an automatic remediation or an automatic issue or a automatic event. If I were to see, for instance, well, maybe right over here. For instance, we take a look, we see that my Wilsey has seen an invalid replay counter from particular host. Could possibly be an example of something that somebody that's trying to go and do something. So maybe I want to go and I want to perform this lockdown and scan event in that instance. How do I do that? Simply from any console, I can just select the event that I want to trigger off of, come down over here, and then to my list of actions, I just need to go ahead and come down right over here to create new alarm. That will then open up my alarm settings dialog, and this is where I'm going to fill out in order to build my alarm. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name it. This might be a possible malware Wi-Fi compromise. Give it a name, and then assign it to somebody, and then simply click Next. Now, it's already basically set up this alarm condition. It knows that we're looking for a field match, and it knows that we're looking for that of a signature ID, and actually what the signature ID is that can that we're looking for, which is the one right over here, this Wilsey invalid replay counter. The one thing you want to set up is you simply want to go ahead and select which machines can actually issue this event. So I'm just going to select everything, and then just simply click Next. Now, in order to set up our automatic remediation, all we need to do is then come over here to Assign Tag with EPO, and then click the Configure button. Right over here is where you actually select your EPO server. Since I've only got one, it's already been selected for me. Now all I need to do is simply just go ahead and select my lockdown and scan tag that I want to apply. And I can even say, go ahead and wake up the client if necessary. And then simply click OK. Now as well, I could also go and add any other alarms that I'd like to, a visual alarm. I can create a case, I can make a watch list, send a report or an email. I can even go ahead and further integrate with the NSM to blacklist this individual if I'd like to. But I'm not going to. In this instance, we're only talking about EPO. And then lastly, I can choose to escalate this event if it's not acknowledged within a given period of time. Simply click on Finish, and now my alarm is been registered, and whenever I now see any more of these particular events, I'm automatically going to place that EPO tag, I'm going to apply the lockdown task with tips, and I'm going to perform the full scan with our Scan Enterprise. So, as you've seen, it's very easy to integrate EPO and the McAfee SIEM together. Allows for rapid remediation, allows for automatic remediation, and makes it easier for all of our customers to go ahead and deal with the things that they really need to deal with. Thank you for your time. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me.